South Africa now, and police have clashed with students at Rhodes University in the city of Grahamstown. Protests are ongoing over alleged rape. Several students have been arrested following the protests. Police used rubber bullets and tear gas to disperse the students. The demonstrations began after a list of 11 students accused of sexual assault was published on social media on Sunday. Protesters have been calling on the university to immediately address what's being called a culture of rape on campus. The institution is setting up a task team to tackle those issues. South Africa has one of the highest rates of violence against women in the world. Let's get you more now on that story, and I'm joined from Johannesburg by CCTV's Angelo Coppola. Angelo, can you give us more details though of what happened today at Rhodes University?
Well, you've sketched it quite nicely, but this has been simmering for about a week now, following that list that was released. And then late yesterday afternoon, there were several protesters who were protesting on the campus grounds topless to make the point about sexual violence and rape at the university campus. So when they took to the streets around the campus this morning, the South African Police Services arrived, and there was some shoving and pushing and butting of heads. The police retaliated. There were stun grenades, pepper spray and rubber bullets. And the South African Police Services have confirmed that 5 protesters were arrested for obstructing traffic on a public road. The 5 were later released on a warning, and they're due to appear in court in July. Beatrice?
Well, Angelo, rape is a rather huge challenge in South Africa. What's been the response from the government there over these protests?
Well, it's kind of quite mixed up. If you look at what's happening with South Africans here, they're all very upset about what's happened with, specifically what's happened on the campus. This protest action has been orchestrated by something called Chapter 212, which is a movement against rape culture that exists on the campus, they allege. That list that was released has tended to heighten the reaction of the university students, as well as people who have been following this action and this protest action. Yesterday's topless protest was also a big hit on social media for the right reasons. Today, those stun grenades, the rubber bullets and the arrests was met with almost unanimous condemnation on social media platforms as well as on the news channels. Beatrice?
Well, Angela, you have mentioned the reaction on social media. What about South Africans, though, on the ground? And what about the authorities at the university? What are they all saying about this?
Well, the university's vice chancellor has been involved and probably very engaged in the protest and watching what's been going on. And he was in fact at the forefront trying to plead with the police services not to arrest those protesters. He's also said that there is a problem at the university and in society in South Africa when it comes to the way sexual violence and rape is reported and dealt with. At the same time, as you mentioned, he has announced that there's a task team that's going to look and to try and tackle some of the protesters' demands. A little over half an hour ago, that task team was still in meetings trying to determine how they're going to take the step forward. But in the meantime, the campus has been closed until Monday with only essential services operating. So we'll have to wait to see what happens tomorrow and whether the protesters are going to continue with their action. Beatrice?
Right, Angelo Coppola for us there in Johannesburg.